Oh, hi, Mama. Welcome to the Manifesting Motherhood podcast. My name is Jessie LeVay-Count, and I'm a certified life and fertility coach who specializes in the art of using manifestation to call your babies home. I'm obsessed with helping you fall back in love with yourself, step into your power, say yes to your best life, and manifest the family of your dreams. If you're trying to conceive, and you want to learn how to manifest not only your pregnancy, but a life full of laughter and adventure and beautiful memories with your babies, then you have come to the right place. My goal on this podcast is to help you see that you are meant for motherhood and provide you with the tools, strategies, resources, and support you need to step into your mama energy and bring your baby home. This podcast will serve as your weekly dose of fertile girl energy and the mindset work you need to quantum jump into your mama timeline. We're going to have an absolute blast, and thank you so much for hitting that play button today. Let's make some magic and make some babies. Welcome back to the Manifesting Motherhood podcast, where we are building a freakin movement to change how women conceive their babies from a place of self-love, stepping away from all of the overwhelm, the stress, the anxiety, and just stepping into living their best lives and just creating this baby from a place of flow, from a place of expansion. And this journey gets to be absolutely delightful. One of my favorite mantras is, I always get pregnant when I'm having the most fun. So if that's your vibe, you're going to love this episode here today. I am so thrilled that you're here today, and I am so excited to dive into today's episode, my friend. So, and oh my gosh, as I'm recording this, I just got a message from one of my Manifesting Motherhood Club members, that's my monthly membership, that one of our beautiful baby makers is pregnant. Holy shit, I'm over the moon. Oh my gosh. What an amazing week this has been. An amazing week. We had one of our members also go into labor and actually have her baby. It's just, oh my God, there's been so much to celebrate. Women are having stuff like unfold inside across all of my containers, and it's just been wild. This is the best job ever. So this has been an incredible week. And so along those lines, actually, I'm really excited to talk about this crucial topic of when TTC takes over your life, because I know I'm not the only one that felt like TTC took over my entire life. Like, every dream that I ever had was dashed against the rocks of life. Like, my life was on hold while everybody else got to move on. Like, I was obsessed with this outcome that I was just never going to be able to reach. My baby always felt like just out of reach. And like, truthfully, I couldn't even get myself to think about the baby part, because I felt like the getting pregnant part was such a huge mountain to climb. Do you know what I mean? But I was obsessed with this outcome that I felt like I was never going to be able to reach. It's just like, and I have a bit of a rant here that goes along with this, the sort of the idea of this podcast, like when TTC has taken over your life. And it starts with a question. So, okay, TTC has taken over your life. All right. So what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? You know, because the sheer volume of women navigating fertility challenges on this planet, like, it's not a small number, number one. Like, women, couples all over the planet are dealing with this. And the sheer volume of, like, women who are struggling, like they have PTSD, you know, like reading about the stats about people who are trying to conceive who have depression and anxiety and PTSD as much as like to the levels of a person who's given a cancer diagnosis, you know, like, it's just, and I'm not okay with it. Talk about how miserable all of these women are, and we're just like, oh, yep, that's TTC, and like, people make podcasts about how hard it is and how unfair it is, and there are entire communities that are dedicated to talking about how hard this is, you know, and it's like, it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard, it's unfair, it's unfair, it's unfair. You know, I'm broken, hey, me too. I'm broken, hey, me too. I'm a failure, hey, me too. I'm a failure, hey, me too. We commiserate and we share, and there's nothing wrong with sharing when it gets hard, but there comes a time when we've beat the dead horse enough. I'm a solution-oriented person. This is a problem. How do we fix it? What are we going to do about it? what are we going to do about it? The fact that a large population of women is out there just absolutely gutted, miserable, depressed, anxious. What are we going to do about that? And this was a crucial question that I really had to ask myself. I had to start with me, because when we were going through this in the thick of it, I was in such like a deep, dark hole that I wasn't sure I was ever going to be able to claw my way out, let alone with a baby in my arms. Like, I didn't even know if I was going to get out of it at all. And so I really had to ask myself, okay, Jessie, this is taken over your life and you're about to lose everything. You've pretty much already lost yourself. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You know, because I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with all these women just simply resigning themselves to the fact that this journey is shitty and we just have to sit in the suck and feel like shit until by some miracle we are blessed, the universe or God or whatever you believe takes pity on us and hands us a baby. It feels bad enough for us and hands us a baby. And I didn't want that for myself. There was life to be lived, and I certainly don't want that for you. And here's the kicker. Even having the baby isn't going to fix it. Statistically, you know, it's been reported too. This is an actual study, and I can definitely get you guys the report in the show notes if you're so interested. You can send it to me in SpeakPipe if you would like to read this. But, you know, they report that those who conceive after fertility struggles show significantly more early parenting difficulties and occurrence of mood disorders and stuff like that. And this is not because of treatments. No, it's the experience in and of itself that sends your subconscious programming and your nervous system into a tailspin where you're questioning your identity and who you always thought you were. You're always on alert for bad news, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, always waiting for another, no, not yet, constantly building a case for how you are falling short somehow. It is no wonder you feel like shit. It is no wonder that like you're having such a hard time, quote unquote, staying positive, you know, when your brain is used to and comfortable with those, like feeling those feelings. Why would that all of the sudden stop once you have a baby, even in your arms safe and sound? You got it. It won't. And the belief is that when I finally get there, then I can be happy. So we wait to heal. We wait to mend. And as a result, we choose not to reflect on what we could improve about our experience right now. Because what is the point in being happy? I still don't have a baby. Yikes. And that's very much how I felt. Like, what is even the point of living in my joy? I still don't have a baby. And the truth is that now is the only moment that ever exists. The future literally does not exist. The past doesn't exist anywhere but in your brain, colored by your own perceptions. It's only now, a never-ending series of nows. And I'm not saying this to scare you. Nope, not even close. I'm telling you this because it is great news. This means that we can take our fucking lives back. And it is absolutely critical that you know you can do this. You can take your life back. And when you do, whew, that's when shit gets good. And the better it gets, mama. But we'll get into the energetics of all that in just a bit. Like, so what the fuck are we going to do about all this? And I'm going to share with you a quick and dirty version of my 5 R's fertile framework that's going to get you started with a nice, gentle approach to beginning to take your life back. We dive much, much deeper and wider and way more integration into this process inside my Manifesting Motherhood Academy, which is my 4-month group coaching program, where we go through my 3 core baby manifesting courses: Force to Flow, Baby Magnet, and Becoming Mama. So it's kind of like beginner, intermediate, advanced, and we work through all of those together. So we do that really, really deep inside there. That leaves no stone unturned, and I'll leave the link for that in the show notes if you are interested in working with me more closely. But I want to give you just a quick and dirty version here. So here's what we're going to do. Step number 1 to starting to take your life back is we are going to reflect. You have to know where to start in order to get where you're going. You have to be able to be aware of where you are at. You have to be able to take stock of like, what are we working with here? So, and this really involves like taking a good hard look at where you're currently vibrating, like where your vibration is currently, taking a look at what you've already pulled in your life, taking a look at your thought patterns, taking a look at like where it is that you want to go. So the reflection piece is really an awareness of what are you thinking on a regular basis? What are you feeling on a regular basis? Like getting really, really clear on that and knowing what we're starting with and knowing where we're going. And so that's step number 1. Step number 2 is to rewrite. Your reality is crafted by your thoughts, especially your recurring ones. And it's not magic, although it's going to feel like it. It has actually been studied at length. They have studied how your body's cells, your hormone levels, and your gene expression respond to your thoughts and your prolonged emotional states. And so when you go to rewrite your thoughts, like we actually go through a whole process of inside the Manifesting Motherhood Academy of teaching you how to take a look at what you're currently thinking, your thoughts and your feelings and the stories behind them and the beliefs that you hold about the world and the way that it works. We dive into that so deep and we do the process of reprogramming those, rewriting them and then actively reprogramming them in so that your new default thoughts aren't always so dark and scary. Your brain is not a really awful, terrible place to be. Do you know what I mean? And so we work really hard at that. We work really hard at the rewiring piece of that. And we do it deep. Like I said, there's no stone unturned. But the next step is to readjust. And to readjust, what I use is the process of what Abraham Hicks calls segment intending. Because wanting to feel better, like all the time, just wanting to feel better, it's going to take some practice. You've been at this in the TTC space for quite a long time. You've been feeling the things that you've been feeling. You've been thinking the thoughts that you've been thinking. You've been exhibiting the behaviors that you've been exhibiting, the tendencies, the patterns for a really long time now. And not just through TTC, but you brought a lot of stuff into TTC from before trying to conceive, from earlier parts of your life, a lot of your patterns. And so practicing choosing to feel better for assigned blocks of time is going to be your best friend as you are learning how to feel safe, feeling good again. And so what we do with a practice like segment intending is we choose like, so, okay, for the next hour, here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be grocery shopping and running to Target or whatever store you have near you. I'm going to be running errands anyway, and I'm going to be picking up some stuff that I need. So how do I want to feel as I'm going about that? So it's setting that intention. How do I want to feel? And then showing up in that block of time, feeling that way and practicing feeling that way and practicing seeing everything as a person who really feels that way. And where you can make those chunks a little smaller, it seems more manageable and it sends off less alarm bells in your brain. So far we've got reflect, rewrite, and readjust. Those are our first 3 steps. The next step is to recycle. And really, it's changing how you think about your cycle and moving it from your worst enemy to your greatest strength. And understanding the changes that are really happening in your body chemistry as your hormones fluctuate. And we go about the process, too, of planning your activities around your needs, your biochemical needs. Your actual brain chemistry and what it requires during that time, what it enjoys during that time in your cycle. And the point is that you're planning in things to live life, not putting it on hold. You're actually meeting your needs in a brand new way. And it leads to this much, much fuller life. And the last step is to remain in the energy. Engage with your vision, engage with your reflections and your new stories that you're telling yourself daily, and start the process of rewiring those thought processes now. And in 30 days, you're going to feel completely different than you do right now. Completely different, unrecognizable to where you were before. Absolutely. in just 30 days. And so many of us are like, oh, 30 days, that's a long time. That's nothing. 30 days is nothing. And you're going to start to get into the habit of feeling into new energies, and you're going to start feeling safe, feeling good again. And so it's really important to craft your vision. It's really important to spend conscious time thinking about and feeling into what you do want. What do you want? What do you want your future to look like? What do you look like? What does your home look like? What do your bank accounts look like? What does your spiritual life look like? What does your marriage or your partnership look like? How do you spend your time? What does your family look like? What travel goals do you have? How many kids do you have? What do your friendships look like? Who are your heroes and why? Make a vision board on a board, or like a poster board, or online. Create a creation box. Save photos as your lock screen, whatever works for you. But when you wake up first thing in the morning, force yourself to look at and feel into your vision and reflect daily. So what this looks like, over the course of a day and keep in mind, this is just the start of how good it gets, but it's a daily reflection of, where am I at today? What did I feel today? What fears came up? Whatever, you're going to take stock where you're at. And then we're going to rewrite these things. We're going to start to reprogram these things, and especially the recurring thoughts and all of that. So actively writing what it is that you want. What would you rather have be true? You know what I mean? Like, the sky's the limit. What would you rather have be true? If you don't like this reality, Miss Ma'am, we can hop to another one. Superposition in quantum physics tells us that there are infinite realities that exist right next to each other. Infinite potentialities, So, get on that, reflect on that daily. Rewrite those stories, readjust, choose to feel better for small blocks of time. You don't have to do all day. You can just do small blocks of time. You can then move forward meeting your own needs by understanding over the course of your follicular, your ovulatory, your luteal, and your menstrual phase, what your body chemistry actually needs, what your brain chemistry actually needs to feel fulfilled during that time. And when you start planning your time like this, and you start to remain in the energy of your new thoughts and how you're newly spending your time, you're going to, like I said, be a totally unrecognizable woman by the time you get to the end of 30 days. You're going to start to feel safe, feeling good. And this is going to be your bridge to getting into that manifesty energy, that baby manifesty energy. But we have to start by knowing what we're working with and where you actually want to go. Okay, so, all right, beautiful baby makers. So you're walking away today with a lot of info on how to begin the process of taking your freaking life back. I know it feels like probably a lot, but go back, re-listen to this episode, take some notes. If I can do it, friggin' trust me, anyone can. Trust me when I tell you that I was at absolute rock bottom. Even though these processes pissed me the fuck off sometimes, it was just my ego coming out and saying, come back down here in the mud where it's nice and comfortable and safe. Even though it sucks. I know it sucks. I know it hurts. But at least we know what's going to happen here. And time after time, when my clients and my students push past this point and they don't listen to their ego, life explodes for them. Miracles are happening left and right, including but certainly not limited to their babies coming home. It's time for this change. You are here for a reason. Your soul led you here to this very episode, and I cannot wait to see what you build as you grow your family, mama. And if you have a question for me that you would like me to dive into on this podcast, just down in the show notes, I've included a link to a website called SpeakPipe. You can record an audio message for me there. I think it caps it off at like a minute and a half, but feel free to send me all of the ones that you want to send me, and I will get to work making some episodes that answer your questions. I love you so much, mama. You got this, and I've got you. See you next time, beautiful baby maker. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you absolutely loved what you heard today, if it created a shift for you or gave you permission to look at your journey to motherhood in a new way, if it made you feel lighter, anything like that, be sure to leave me a review on iTunes so that I can keep the good stuff flowing your way, mama. And if you don't already follow me on social media, come grab the extra manifesty vibes over on TikTok, where you'll find me as @manifestingmotherhood, or visiting my website at ohimama.com. I love you so big, mama, and cannot wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, Go out there and say yes to that life that baby cannot wait to come home to.